Hi, my name is Trixie, and I am here again to tell you about just being a writer and a published author. I told you last week that I had been published. So this week I thought I would show you those things which I have been published in. This is going back quite a few years. Now, the first thing that I'm going to show you is back in 1988. It was a cat's magazine, and it was published in September 1988. I wrote a little article and sent in a picture about my cat and how she liked to sleep with her little stuffed bear. And I'll show you a picture. The magazine, it was just a magazine that was talking about cats and stuff, but this was just, you could send in a picture and an article and you could possibly get published. So yeah, there's my little cat and her little teddy bear. So yep, that was the first time that I got published, and never had that happen in a magazine before, and never since. But I had gotten the writing bug then, right? It was like, well, if I can do it once, I can do it again, right? Back in those days, I was not writing novels, I was writing poetry. So to have your poetry in an anthology was a big deal. It was, something that was memorable and could bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. This one was Poetic Voices of America, Summer of 1991, by Sparrowgrass Poetry Forum. And big, nice anthology. And mine was a poem called What is a Grandmother? About my paternal grandmother. And it was on page 42. Now this book is old, and it's kind of coming apart. So I'm just going to show you. It's right down here. And that was my second publication. And it was a proud moment, everybody was so happy, and I thought, well, if I can do it once, I can do it again, right? So this one, and I believe I got an award. The National Library of Poetry. It says there was something in there, and it says, "Dear Trixie, thank you for your entry in our recent contest. Your poem was recognized by the judges as being among the best 3% of all entries judged. We are therefore pleased to award you our Editor's Choice Award for your contest entry as published in A Break in the Clouds. Congratulations on your significant achievement. Sincerely, the National Library of Poetry." And so because it was deemed within the top 3%, I was put into this anthology. Now it's called A Break in the Clouds, the National Library of Poetry. It was published in 1993, and let me just bring it up here for you. It looks like this. Huge, huge book. And in this one, my poem is called Rising Star. It is on page 103. And yeah, it's down here. I was just so thrilled to have won that and won the award, and then had it published in another anthology. And so that was 3 times that I'd been published. And so then I heard about this story. My friend had told me a story when I was at one of her craft parties at her house. And we were all sitting around a table and just enjoying each other's company and doing crafts. And when everybody left, she was talking to me and had told me part of her life story. And I just could not stop thinking about it. And I have never felt before what I felt during that time. Just this constant need to get that story written down. And so I wrote that part, but then I'm thinking, well, what comes before that? And what would happen after that would happen? So I've kind of, the true part of the story is within the story that I wrote, but I fictionalized the beginning and the end, and most of the story around the true part. And what I did was I just wrote it, right? I worked on it until it was in a book form. I never thought it was going to get that far. I thought it was just going to be a short story. And I started researching what genre this could be and what publishers might like to see this story, maybe publish it for themselves. And the very first publisher I sent it to took it. And I'm just like, whoa, that never happens. And so I was asked to do a bunch of things, write the back of the blurb on the back and submit a picture. But otherwise, they did everything. They did all the cover art and everything. It's called Gemstones with a J. And it was published in the year 2000. I dedicated it to the woman who inspired the story. And I never told her I was writing this. What she had told me, she had told me in confidence, but she also told me, I often wonder whatever happened, whatever happened. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to write this story and I'm going to dedicate it to her. And I wouldn't have had it if it wouldn't have been for her. So I dedicated it to her, and I called her to come over to my house. And when the book came, and I had her read the dedication, and then I gave her one of the books, and I said, this is what I think happened. What could have happened. I'm giving you the backstory and what could have happened after the part you told me. And she was so thankful. And so yeah, that's Gemstones because somebody gave me a part of the story and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So yeah, this is where that is. It was published by America House in Baltimore. So yeah, here, show you their little logo down there. So, yep. And then a couple of years later, I don't know who it was, somebody had gotten a hold of me and they were writing, they were compiling stories about mothers of writers. And they wanted me to submit a story, a short story. And so I did. And it got published in this Mothers of Writers, Volume 2, K through Z. And it's Publish America, Authors Pay Tribute to Their Mothers. And so I was able to write a story. And there it is. And so the story is called The Gift of Hope. And it's about how back in the day women had hope chests, and how my mom had one, how I had one, and how I was able to hand one down to our daughter. And so it was just, you know, a gift of hope. So, yeah. The thing that publishing does for you, it gives you a little bit of confidence, but it also, you know, I'm foraging into new ground now. I haven't been published in 21 years. So nowadays things are all different. And you know, like I said before in my other video, you know, I decided to take some time off, raise my family. Now my husband and I are empty nesters, and so I have the time. And so I just thought, as long as these stories come into my head, I've got time, I've got a computer, I can write them down. But I think I'm going to try, instead of traditional publishing, I'm going to try self-publishing this time. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully that will be the way things get into you guys' hands, and hopefully you'll like the stories that I've written, and it'll all be worth it in the end, right? To be honest with you, I always thought I was a suspense writer until just recently. I realized I'm more of a Christian writer. Suspense is in the books, but I'm more of a bringing people to Jesus kind of writer, helping people figure things out. And in the stories, they figure these things out, and it's kind of exciting to me as a puzzler or a flying by the seat of my pants writer to find out the story as I write it, just like you would if you were reading it. It's really, really fun, and I really enjoy it. And I'm so glad that I was able to explain some of this to you today. And I hope that if you like this content or this kind of one-on-one, that you will come back for the next episode. Not sure what I'll be talking about, but it'll be something fun. And if you like this, subscribe. Let's build the community up. Let's have conversations in the comments. And if you think somebody else would like it or enjoy it, share it with a friend. And I'm gonna leave you with that, and just leave it with, tell your story for His glory. Thank you.